Good morning, everyone. Today, we're going to dive into a timeless passage from the Bible that offers profound wisdom and comfort, Psalm 23. This beloved psalm, often recited at funerals and times of need, is more than just a beautiful poem. It's a powerful affirmation of God's provision and care for us, even. Let's begin by looking at the first verse. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Here, David declares his complete trust in God's provision. By likening God to a shepherd, David emphasizes God's care, guidance, and protection. This verse reminds us that when we place our trust in God. Moving on to verse 2, He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. These images evoke a sense of peace and abundance. The green pastures and still waters symbolize God's provision and rest. Even in the busyness of life, God invites us to find rest. Verse 3 continues this theme of God's care. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for His name's sake. Here, David acknowledges God's role in restoring and guiding us. God not only provides for our physical needs, but also restores our souls and leads us in paths of righteousness. In verse 4, David acknowledges the reality of life's challenges. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Despite facing difficulties, David finds comfort in God's presence and protection. This verse reminds us that God is with us in our darkest moments. Verse 5 shifts to a tone of abundance and blessing. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Here, David celebrates God's abundant provision and protection. Even in the presence of enemies, God blesses us abundantly, symbolized by. Finally, in verse 6, David concludes with a declaration of trust and hope. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. David's trust in God's goodness and mercy extends beyond this life. He looks forward to dwelling in God's. As we reflect on Psalm 23, let's consider how its truths apply to our lives today. Like David, we can find peace and rest in God's presence. In the midst of life's challenges, let's trust in God's provision and guidance. Let's also remember to share God's goodness and mercy with others, extending it. In conclusion, Psalm 23 reminds us of God's steadfast love and care for us. As we meditate on its timeless truths, may we find comfort, strength, and peace in God's promises. Let's take these lessons to heart and live each day in the assurance of God's presence with us.